and Tempest on top of that. So they have such strong team fight. They are losing right now. It looks like a little bit as far as hero kills goes. That game is still there's a lot left to be played.
With that said, actually, we got some fancy technology here, like I said, and I'm going to go ahead and quickly jump into this game, QsQ versus TteS Esports, just out of curiosity, here to see what exactly is going on. So there we go. Should be loaded in now. And so as you said, yeah, we look at TteS Esports, and they actually have a very, very aggressive team fight lineup. So Slicks is playing Soul Stealer, actually. It looks like he does have his Portal Key and Mighty Blade, so thought we were going to transition up. that may be coming here, so I do apologize. But going to give you some play. But okay, there we go. Looks like we do got an in-game shot of what's actually going on here between these two teams. The Q Squad is on the Legion side, as you can see. We got TteS Esports on the Hellborn side. As I mentioned, Nox playing Draconis here. He does have a Nullstone picked up. And TteS ultimate going to be used. They're going to combo onto him. He's by himself, and absolutely no one nearby. And TteS Esports capitalizes on Nox making a mistake right there. So that was unfortunate for Nox. Pushing up a little bit further than he probably should have. And now as a team, except Soul Stealer, they're going to push the bottom lane, it looks like. So
yeah, we jumped in kind of an interesting spot right now. Soul Stealer looks like he's having a great farm. He's got over 400 gold per minute. He's 2-1-2. Slick's playing that Soul Stealer on his way to that Shrunken Head after that Portal Key. And after that, I think that was a Portal Key on Tempest. Yes, it was Riser playing that. Able to get a good pickoff onto the Dargon, who has top farm on his team anyway with a very fast Nullstone. It looks like he's going for Whispering Helm as well. But that kill, or the death onto him, I should say, is definitely going to slow things down for him.
Yeah, you do have Keeper of the Forest. Jonathan Fan is actually farming very well as Torture even. Of course, the Draconis leading the way for the team, but Keeper of the Forest has his Portal Key, has his Astrolabe, I believe. Yes, he does. Little Red Booties. Soulster, though, Slicks, it looks like he is having a very good time right now. He is the top farm of the game, 422 gold per minute. Soul Stealer's not a hero we get to see too often, but obviously we're jumping in late to this match. I mean, we don't really know how the pick phase went and whatnot. But what do you think about Soul Stealer being picked up here for TteS Esports?
Like I said, I think the Bubbles, Magnus, Illuna, Soul Stealer combination is so freaking strong.
Yeah.
Provides so much stun, so much team fight potential. And then, yeah, of course, you throw Tempest on top of that. It's just like the cherry on top. And I just love that combination. I've talked about it for a long time of how much I love these specific heroes and how they work together.
Oh, a Portal Key away for there by Leon Black playing the Magnus. As I said, the first game he actually went 0-1-15 on Magnus, so plenty of involvement there coming out from him. But this being game number 2, again, TteS Esports is up 1-0. So as you can see on your screen, looks like all the graphics are there. So hey, it looks like we jumped into game number 2, and we're going to be casting this one now apparently. So kind of a little bit of having some fun here. Obviously, the previous series ending fairly quickly there, so I figured might as well get a little bit more content out of this and see what happens at least here in game number 2 between these two teams. So Slicks, he's level 15, obviously having great farm, being level 15 close to that 16 mark, and will have his level 3 ultimate, and that even just fares a lot better for TteS Esports, of course, when it comes to that team synergy and putting it all together. That is going to be pretty damn devastating. But you got Nox playing Draconis. Nox, no doubt, one of the better hardcore players out there nowadays, especially when it comes to just knowing how to farm. And what better hero to do that on, of course, than Draconis. See, by the way, he has a Helm of the Victim. I found it a little bit interesting. I wonder if he actually picked that up earlier. Again, we came in late, so it looks like he might have if he's not really purchasing a Whispering Helm. Never mind. Okay. Hungry Spirit just purchased, so Whispering Helm going to be picked up here by Draconis. A little bit different. That's not the usual. No Shrunken Head.
Yeah, it's a help. It's going to help you in the late game against these this team that does a lot of burst damage. And if you get an eventual Symbol of Rage and you're able to live through that initial burst, then you're really going to destroy a team fight. But he does finally pick up that Whispering Helm. A couple things to note here is Bubbles. The matchup he has against this team is very strong. Bubbles against Torture is always strong. Bubbles against these very, very weak and squishy support heroes, being both Glacius and the Voodoo Jester. They're both in this game. And, even Torture is quite squishy as well. It's going to prove to be very effective for the Bubbles, who's well on his way to a Portal Key. We'll have it here relatively quickly.
Yeah, so we'll see. Keep an eye out for that. Both teams kind of doing some pushing here. The top first tower being pushed by Q Squad, But TTE Sports doing a counter push here in the middle lane on the secondary tower. So the top tower going down. But here comes the middle lane push. QsQ, it looks like they're setting up to react to it. They're just waiting to port in here. And they're probably going to all port in at the same time. Is it going to come? We do have Draconis coming in already. Looks like they just ported back to the secondary tower. So a big fight could be setting up here. In the middle lane, it looks like. Does it just me, or does Solskjaer look like he has a regen activated? On me, it looks like he does. Anyways, he is going to just putting an auto attack into the tower. But again, everyone is here, actually, except for Torture. Torture's still farming a little bit in the jungle, but he does have a TP on him if a fight does commence. You got Magma's kind of chilling here in the forest, waiting for an opportunity. But they're not going to find it, so they don't want to put the tower in deny range at least just yet. And they're just going to fall back as a team. So playing it pretty safe. You know, obviously you are facing a Draconis, so you want to be always a little bit careful about that. But they feel like they can reset a little bit here and then maybe make a final, not a final push, but another push.
Yeah, maybe they're just waiting for a couple more core items. Of course, the biggest one that they're probably looking forward to is the Shrunken Head on TteS. If he does wait until that Keep of the Forest ultimates, and then they really have absolutely no counter to it. And when you have no counter to a TteS ultimate with all those other ultimates on this team that synergize so well, I feel like they're just all going to plop. They're just all going to die. So TteS gets a great ulti off, and the rest are there to follow. It's going to be a 5-for-0 exchange.
Yeah.
That's why I love this team comp so much.
Oh, we see Torture going to counter ward up here with Voodoo Chest. A little bit risky, though. He's going to have to go around, and Magnus will actually stun in, but there was only TteS nearby, and they just didn't feel too confident really committing to that. So that definitely makes sense, though. So good counter ward coming out here from QsQ. Of course, SQY, sure enough, playing Voodoo Jester. Shocker there for QsQ. Of course, a hero that he specifically loves to play for the team. Soul Stealer level 17 now. He's 3 levels higher than Draconis, man. I mean, he is out-leveling everyone else in this game big time. Farm, he's leading. It's not crazy like the experience, but he is leading as well at 452 gold per minute and counting now. He has 2,200 gold saved up. So at this point, you think maybe a Geometer's Bane, as there we go with the Fireband purchase there.
Yeah.
For Soul Stealer, makes sense.
Geometer's Bane plus Shrunken Head, that combination is always almost standard against Keeper of the Forest when you are a hero that benefits from both of those items, like Soul Stealer.
Yeah.
And just being able to get out of one, like I said, I've mentioned before against Keeper of the Forest, say you just have a Shrunken Head, you jump in a team fight, you blink in, you Shrunken Head, you're getting ready to ultimate, and gets canceled by the Keeper of the Forest ultimate. If you're just sitting there, it's like, well, I just kind of wasted my Shrunken. But if you're able to, cancel that with a Geometer's Bane, you're able to get out of it with that, then it just makes it much more effective.
Oh, bottom lane, we do see Keeper of the Forest. So he actually jumps onto Magnus, but Magnus with that Steam Bath, and he's just going to stun out. Will be fine. Soulstra, they're porting down here, actually, and Slick's pushing up a little bit, but you see the Legion team. They're setting something up. Soulstra needs to be really careful. Has that Shrunken Head, but his support is now starting to head on over, actually. And Bubbles will scout Voodoo Jester, and Voodoo Jester will actually just run away before he gets jumped. So looks like there's a possibility yet again of some action going to be coming up there, but in the end, QsQ falls back. And nothing really happening. Magnus does pick up a Bound Eye, actually, and that's, of course, very important against a hero like Keeper of the Forest. Obviously, counter warding is just another benefit of it. You see right here, it's just going to take out the Revelation. And then may take out this Ward of Sight over here. This is an interesting Ward of Sight, by the way, here at the bottom. Rune placed by SQY. Just about to wear out, but seems like it's almost blocked by that tree right there as far as full vision. So, not sure if that was a mistake or maybe it's just seeing more different vision than we're used to. I'm not sure. But
Storm Spirit picked up on a Torture. I mean, this has got to be one of the only times I think this is a bad pickup. It's such a huge gold investment. Storm Spirit has been nerfed in the sense that it costs a lot more than it used to. I think it's 3,400 for the total amount. But when you're facing against a massive AoE burst damage, Storm Spirit really just is useless in my opinion because, yeah, you save someone else, but the rest of your team is going to melt. So I think something more effective would be a Shrunken Head or even just more on the offensive, something like a Sheepstick.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think I definitely don't like the Storm Spirit pickup here.
Yeah. Well, we saw right there Magnus was actually roaming around those typical ward spots, trying to maybe find something, but SQY doing a good job of not keeping them in the most obvious of spots and able to avoid that. Draconis just continuing to do his thing. He's cleaning up now what looks like to be double stacked Ancients here. And now with that Whispering Helm pickup, he is going to be going towards a Shrunken Head, it looks like. So just a little bit different there. Like I said, not the usual Nullstone into Shrunken Head that we seem to always see on Draconis, but hey, it's working out here just fine. Kongor's up. Magnus in the Kongor pit. I think he just got kind of caught there, though. So just going to walk around and he'll be fine. Shrunken Head finished on Tempest, so I'm sure that's an item that TteS Sports was really looking forward to getting before they maybe look to jump in here. So we'll see now if that is the key. Well, I guess Geometer's Bane, too, would definitely be another item they'd want to make sure to have on Soul Stealer before they really might try to make something happen here.
Yeah, and they're so close. He's already got the Blessed Orb, and about another 130 gold he'll have it. And I think that's really their cue to push. Do they finally deliver their Shrunken Head to Tempest? I feel like he should have it by now. He had a lot of gold pooled up, and
yeah.
I think he maybe bought it. It's just not in the
courier wasn't
in the
used,
courier
yeah.
yet. So once they get those core items, they could either look to push or maybe just take Kongor. They have lots of vision up all around this kind of bottom half. They got a ward in mid. They have a ward actually right about where Glacius is. They have a ward aggressively right as you enter their jungle, kind of there in the center. They have a ward actually down. There's tons of wards actually all around the Legion side of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And then even one on their own Kongor pit.
Yeah, see that actually, just to make sure. See if they can maybe catch somebody. Keeper of the Forest was kind of toying a little bit with them, but he's going to run into the Illusion Magnus, so not the biggest deal in the world. And Jonathan Fan, though, it seems like, again, he's been having a pretty solid game himself for Q Squad here. He's got a Soul's Bulwark now on top of his other items. So that's the good news. So we talked about the Shrunken Head on Tempest, which hasn't even been delivered yet. It's on the courier. Okay, but Geometer's Bane was finished on Soul Stealer first. So finally the Shrunken Head is going to come over to Riser here playing Tempest. And he will gladly pick that up. But you do have a Keeper of the Forest on the other team. So how patient will Jonathan Fan be is the big question now. Because, of course, as we've seen many times before, he still can root through that Shrunken Head and stop the ultimate, and it's very, very effective at it. So
the problem is they're down so much as far as all the burst potential coming out from Hellborn that he can't just sit back and wait for his team to die. Like, you're going to want to get in there before your team gets just destroyed by this Magnus, by this Bubbles, by the Soul Stealer. So sitting back and waiting for Tempest is generally the right thing to do, but sometimes you just simply can't wait that long and watch your team die right in front of you. Mm-hmm. So it's a hard decision to make, but that's just the beauty of this nature, or the lineup that TteS Sports has. So.
Yeah, it really is. So Soul Stealer, he is leading the way here at the bottom lane. So as really expected, the Shrunken Head, the Geometer's Bane, those are going to be the key items. And now TteS Sports is grouping up down here, looking to make a massive push happen. They do have a secondary tower to get through, but I'm sure they'll get through that very quickly. We'll see if Q Squad looks to put up too much resistance here, or if TteS Sports is just going to take it out with very little. Looks like it may be very little, but I don't know. Keeper of the Forest is kind of positioning himself. We do have ports coming in, actually. And the Legion team maybe that wants to jump. Tap of command right there on a Torture, trying to catch somebody, but TteS Sports quick to react. Magnus now jumping in. No stun, though. Maybe trying to bait something. Cataclysmic Assault was used by Draconis. It is a very short cooldown, only 30 seconds, but it is on cooldown now for another 20 seconds here. This could be a time now for TteS Sports to maybe make a move here, as Draconis not having that definitely loses out on a lot of his damage output in these team fights. It's quickly coming off cooldown, though. They're taking out the tower quickly. When is that jump going to happen? You can feel it in your bones. It's going to happen soon. Bubbles, chain reactions is dodged right there. Will it be denied tower? Will it be a kill? Bubbles going for it. There's a last auto attack, and yes, it will be tackle. Magnus jumps in the background. Here we go. Bubbles jumps in. Soul Stealer comes out. Nice Storm Spear from Torture, though. The Cataclysm Assault is back up for Draconis, and actually Bubbles in a lot of trouble. Look at the damage output coming out right there. Keeper of the Forest, still no root. Soul Stealer does pick up a couple kills in the background, but now he is on the run. Tempest coming in. Tempest ultimate, but there's the root from Keeper of the Forest as expected, and Draconis is going to tear them up. Aluna falls. Magnus falls. Bubbles is already down. Tempest now, he's the one that's in trouble. Soul Stealer will get out, but Tempest, Portal Key in 3, nope, not going to happen. Dragon Flame used, and down he goes. What a fight for Q Squad right there.
Yeah, I think Slicks need to be a little bit faster with that Portal Key ultimate. As you mentioned, that was a good Storm Spirit, actually. He did put it to good use. And they were just too spread out. I think they spread very smartly on Q Squad's side. And I wasn't actually watching everybody's initiation. I was watching bits and pieces. I'm not quite sure, but I suspect that it just wasn't the best executed initiation. I think they could have done a lot better job. They need to focus certain heroes down, I feel. Draconis is just dishing out too much damage, even with no items, really. No damage items.
Well, they jumped. It was... Q Squad was very spread out, first off. They did an excellent job of making sure not to be clumped up, and that really showed in that fight. But yeah, the Storm Spirit, no doubt, played a huge role right there. We do see the Hellborn team. They're going to try to make something happen. Going to try to catch the Dragon. Nox is in a lot of trouble. He will activate the Shrunken Head. Will that be enough, though? Cataclysmic Assault. He turns around. A lot of damage coming out, but just not enough. He will fall. But now Soul Stealer is the one in trouble. The rest of the team cleaning up. He gets a kill in a Voodoo Gesture. Can Slicks make the escape? Using the bottle charges. One more bottle charge. 2 seconds. 1 second. Portal key, baby. And Slicks will run right into Jonathan Fan, actually. So now he's going to turn around. He ain't out of the woods just yet. Literally, he's going to be caught by Storm Spirit. There's a chain reactions. Jonathan Fan picks up the double tap. Soul Stealer falls. He can definitely buy back. He has 3,400 gold. But is it worth it is the question. They're easily going to lose this top tower.
Definitely. And actually, that was looking kind of good at first because Slicks was getting kills on Draconis. And if he hadn't stayed alive, that would have been huge. But they QsQ actually has gained a lead as far as golden experience goes. And, you know, despite Slicks being level 21, quite a high level at this early stage in the game. I mean, 34 minutes, level 21, that's huge.
Yeah.
But Nox is not too far behind and actually sitting at 480 gold per minute, level 19 himself. And so is Jonathan Fan, a level 19 Keeper of the Forest. And be interested to see what item he decides to go. Now, he has his core, being the Astrolabe, the Soul's Bulwark, and the Blink. Maybe looking for a Demonic Breastplate now.
Yeah, this is interesting we jumped into this game because no doubt this is definitely turning out to be a very, very even game. I mean, again, we have two, of course, great teams going at it in QsQ and TteS Sports. Both of them, you can kind of consider this to be a rematch. They did meet up in the Redemption Tournament in the Losers Bracket semifinals, I believe it was. And, of course, TteS Sports did win that series. I think it was 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. But here we are now in the group stages of Destination DreamHack. This is game number 2. TteS Sports, of course, up 1-0. But QsQ is definitely fighting here, and you can safely argue they have the lead now in this game. 3,100 goal lead, 3,800 experience lead. We're now 35 minutes into the game. Whispering Helm just picked up on Soul Stealer, so that's going to be his next item. He says that's working out so well for Draconis. Might as well get one myself, so there you go with that attack modifier of choice. But yeah, in that last fight, I mean, despite Draconis being picked off, we saw the damage output he did before his death was ridiculous. Again, he used the Cataclysmic Assault, and he got in at least 8 to 10 attacks before he eventually fell, and I'm sure the Whispering Helm definitely helped a little bit there. So him dying, you know, it was good, but he just did so much damage initially that I think that was a big part of the success there in that fight. So he's going to go to clean up triple stack Ancients here now, enhance his farm more, but Soul's Bulwark just actually picked up by Soul Stealer as well. So,
And the Demonic Breastplate is finished by Keeper, so I did suspect that. The Whispering Helm pickup has proven to be very effective for Draconis. It's helping him stay a lot longer in these fights and just being able to man up and go toe-to-toe with Slicks and damage. And did you mention, you said Soul's Bulwark onto Slicks?
Yeah, I think he purchased it.
Yeah,
there we go, yeah.
As well as that Whispering Helm. So he wants also to go the route of being able to just stand there and get that life back with those auto attacks against Draconis or whoever.
Yeah, that's I don't know, though. I feel that Draconis, he has that shrunken head up. I mean, with that Cataclysmic Assault, he's going to win that battle. Now, we do see initiation down here. Keeper of the Forest getting jumped. Do they have a bound die around them? I don't think they do. Whoever has it isn't near. And it is Tempest, actually. Yeah, he wasn't nearby. So Keeper of the Forest goes in Viz and easily gets away. So the kill field used right there by Moravis doesn't even result in any kills remotely. So a little bit unfortunate. That will now be on cooldown, of course, for another minute here. But TteS Sports doesn't seem to care. They still want to make something happen, it almost looks like. Despite that being down, of course, they do still have Magnus, Tempest, and Soul Stealer, especially with their massive ultimates. So I guess that makes sense. But QsQ is playing it very well at the same time. They're staying spread out. They're not really committing to too much, and they're really forcing TteS Sports to make the initiation choice on not the most ideal spots. And I think that's really showing here right now.
Yeah, and the lead is starting to grow for them. It's not getting out of hand by any means. 3,400, 4,300 experience. And you still have the Tempest ultimate to work with. Now, of course, we do mention that Keeper of the Forest is a great counter to Tempest. And like I said before, things have definitely changed. They're getting more tanky. The burst potential, where it was like amazing for a second, though, is not going to be as effective. You need that level 16, I feel, onto Magnus. And to really put out that damage. And even the level 16 kill field, you just need more because the heroes on this Legion side are getting too tanky to withstand this initial jump coming out from TteS Sports.
Oh, we do see again. It looks like it's so close. You see another counter ward coming out right there. Of course, the power of the bound die coming through. So no vision for QsQ here at the bottom portion. They do have that ward site, though. Again, placed by SQS. Actually, they do have some. And Regen Rune will be bottled up by Magnus. Soulstone is pushing the middle end in the meantime, and he actually gets the tower kill before any reaction happens. So Good job right there by Slicks, and as he's praised for time and time as being just such a good farming player. He just knows where to be at all times, it seems like. So is he still leading? Yeah, wow, he's still leading by quite a bit even. 530 gold per minute compared to a 485 Draconis. So still has the advantage there, but the Hellborn team, or Legion team, excuse me, and Q Squad, they're now grouping up here at the top side. They're going to be the ones to start making some pushing now happen, despite 0-5 being up. So we'll see if that pays off. Of course, Bubble's ultimate is well off cooldown now, only being a minute cooldown at this level, or 85 second, I should say, but still fairly short. The tower is going to be destroyed. It's going to be denied on top of that. So again, some slightly good news there for TteS Esports, but still, the tower is dead, and that was the last outer tower, actually. In fact, both teams. Well, no, the Legion team still has a top outer tower as secondary, but that's it. So getting very close here in that sense as well. But so remains a slight advantage here for the Legion team. And the fact that Q Squad is feeling comfortable enough to now start making some pressure and pushing themselves, it's not good news for TteS Esports.
Yeah, definitely not. I think really what TeS is going to have to do is make a decision. Does he want to go for that refresher orb like we've seen before? Or does he want to go for something more like a just teamfight item, like a Sheepstick? I think Sheepstick would actually be very good against Draconis. And Sheepstick and Hellfire are thought of to be great counters against the Shrunken Head. Because you blink on them, you cast that spell before they're able to pop it, and then basically all their items mean nothing. You're able to kill him before they pop that. And so we'll have to wait and see. He does have the blink potential, obviously, with that portal key. And look at their side. They actually have 4 portal keys on that Hellborn side. So they definitely have the jump. They just need to get that extra item, which I think really should be a Sheepstick.
Yeah. No, we'll see who may get that, if anyone here on TteS Esports. Kongor, again, especially in a game like this, you would really expect it to be a place to be, especially 40 minutes in now. The Legion team, a little bit of damage in the Kongor, but as soon as that Shell Surf came in from Moravis, they decided it wasn't even worth the attempt anymore, and they chose to fall back. So Draconis, he'll just gladly continue farming here in the middle lane. Demonic Breastplate is looking to be finished on Soulstealer here in the near future. He just picked up the Warp Cleft, so he's getting very close now to finishing his own Demonic Breastplate. And that'll actually make him, in fact, there we go, he just finished it, I believe. So he's going to have a good amount of armor here and against the Draconis, who, at this point of the game especially, with that Cataclysmic Assault and whatnot, is going to start putting out some decent physicals. So that'll be useful for that as well for his output, too. So
SQY has his own bound die, and there's going to be a very little wards on the map, I got to say. There is one here coming out from TteS Esports down in the kind of their jungle area, or the Legion's jungle, that is. And like you mentioned, SQY did place that other ward. He also placed a ward up here where we normally see it on the cliff. It goes all the way towards the right, so it doesn't get countered as easily. Of course, he should know by this time they do have a bound die. And we might see a fight here. Bruin, is that double damage on Soulster? It's hard to tell sometimes with these new avatars, but he does have the double damage, and they're going to walk right into Kongor. I feel like he'd actually solo this. They need to make sure they do spread. Jonas and fans blinking toward the top lane, and this might be a free Kongor for now for Legion.
It is. I mean, there's no way Keeper of the Forest is going to get there in time. He doesn't have a homecoming stone. There's no towers to port to anyways. I mean, they could jump here, but it's without Keeper of the Forest being there just yet, it's not going to happen. So they're going to get Kongor. Token of Life will be picked up. And here we go with the counter. Draconis getting caught in a funky spot right here. It looks like he's going to be fine, though. He uses the Geometer's Bane, and he gets away. That could have been really deadly, though, for Draconis. But still, Token of Life now on Soulstealer. He's going to be close to level 24 soon, you would think, in the near future, too. So, again, despite Draconis and even Keeper of the Forest keeping up their levels, Soulstealer still remaining to be on top here as far as leveling up. So he's going to really, at this rate, of course, going to hit that level 25 mark first and be able to benefit from that. So for now, he's just going to go continue to farm here in the jungle, as why the hell not? His last slot left right now is for buyback, but once that Token of Life eventually wears off, whether it's used or just time, he will look to buy something for that slot, I'm sure, as well. So
I'm pretty sure he sold his entire Whispering Helm.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He did have it, and I think he used it to help kill Kongor, then sold it for the token. Now, he did finish his Demonic, so maybe he sold it beforehand, or maybe he just has it in his stash. I don't know for sure, but either way, it's not up there. So
good point, yeah.
We'll have to wait and see if it is in the stash or if he did sell it. I couldn't catch it in time. I apologize, but
I'm not sure either.
They're in a good spot, and they're in a better spot, I should say. They have closed that gap just a bit. It was like, I want to say 4,500 to 5K in experience in gold, but now it's about 1,700 and 2,500. So they're definitely in this. They have the token. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be an epic battle, I'm sure.
Yeah, it definitely is. And with the way this game is shaping up to be against two quality teams in Q Squad and TteS Esports going at it, Really expecting that almost, and it's definitely something that we're possibly going to be getting here. So middle push happening again, though, for TteS Esports. So another chance for a possible fight to be brewing here. Draconis going to use that Blazing Flight, kind of clear up the creep wave a little bit, and be confident sitting in the front line. So TteS Esports instead, they'll just go to the last outer tower. Soulstealer really by himself even. He'll just drop what was already at half life. So there we go. The tower goes down. Both teams are officially down to their base towers now in this game as a result of that kill. We're now coming up to the 44-minute mark. And TteS Esports, again, they're just going to fall back and look to maybe get the creep lanes pushed up, because you do see the bottom side and even the top side. The creep waves are in favor right now of QsQ. So I want to get that taken care of, a little bit of control there before they want to do anything too dangerous again. But I don't know. Do you think either one of these teams, I would think maybe TteS Esports needs to be the one to keep being aggressive, but could you see this turning into a very passive game here?
I don't know. But they're probably just going to look for their final items on most of their heroes, like Draconis. I feel like they don't care about being passive right now. Draconis still has one full item slot, and he can also upgrade his Whispering Helm into that Symbol of Rage. So that's going to take a little bit of gold, well, quite a bit of gold. Not to mention he needs a buyback on top of that. Let's look at the buyback situation. There has been one buyback this game. It has been on Slicks, and that's about it. So I still think, yeah, we're going to have plenty of game ahead of us, and I do fear that it's going to get to that much more passive route.
Yeah, that is always a possibility in games like this. Barbed Armor. Wow, couple of Barbed Armors. Bubbles and Magnus actually purchasing Barbed Armors here. You know, I don't know if I know I've had this conversation before. Maybe it was with you, but Draconis, he's so powerful. Just constant AoE damage he's putting out with that Cataclysmic Assault. Barbed Armor seems like it'd be pretty powerful against that. So TteS Esports obviously keeping that in mind too, and they go with a couple of Barbed Armors already on Magnus and Bubbles, so that could be interesting actually. To see some damage reflection going on onto Draconis, and he will need to be careful on the top of that as far as who he's picking and choosing. But
Barbed Armor is a great tool against Draconis, and it goes through everything. Even if he has that Shrunken Head activated, it's still going to do massive amounts of damage to him. Now, if you look at the contenders, yeah, both Bubbles and Magnus, they do have it. The only problem with that, though, is that they're both very squishy. So yeah. It's hard. I do definitely approve of the item. I really do. And not to mention, it's not only going to hurt them, but anyone else that's doing damage to him as well. So it's still they're great pickups. I definitely like them.
46 minutes in, and we have less than 1,000 gold difference between these two teams. Only a 1,600 experience difference. It really just does not get much closer than that. So, again, pretty cool that our other series, which was originally Gary Johnson versus Team Keurig, it happened to be a quick 2-0 victory for GJ 2012. And we're about to wrap up. I figure we might as well jump into this game, see what's going on. And sure enough, we got a brand new cast apparently. So it's kind of cool. We got the opportunity to do so here and see these two great teams going at it. So Draconis, he did spend something. He actually bought a Slayer. So the usual Savage May is going to be for him. There's the Restoration Stone for TteS. Straight up Resto Stone. Yes, indeed. And now that really puts it on Jonathan Fan now, because if he wants to compete against TteS here in these fights, he will have to go Resto Stone now if they want to commit to that being the tool, which they have to, obviously, with the Shrunken Head, to stop in the TteS ultimate if they're really, really concerned about it in the end, and you would think they would have to be. So I wonder when they're going to realize that, and will it be in time, because here we go. Soulstealer's running in right here. Going to start cleaning up some creeps. The Torturer's nearby, but he is invisible. Thankfully for him, no one nearby had a bound eye, because he actually went in a little bit right there. But
yeah, it is that Tempest. He's sitting in the back. I think Tempest should do my strategy right now. Right now. I don't know if he's been appeared on the map yet, but he needs to put that refresher back in the base or something. Go out there in the mid, use it, say, oh God, in all chat. Go back to base, wait for them to push, bam, 5-man hole. It's perfect.
Yes, it is. Or they could just wait for Cooper to ult and then counter ult with another ult. So
that's not as fun.
You're right, though. Where would be the fun in that, right? So we'll see if Riser maybe was listening yesterday when we talked about it. Probably not. Not gonna lie, Trough. Probably not.
In fact, he could pop both his Shrunken and his ulti. He might
exactly.
as well.
He just goes up to a creep wave, pops everything, and he's like, oh crap.
Say I lagged.
I lagged, so I spammed all my buttons because I lagged.
That's what people do.
And I always love that excuse. I really do. When they're just like stand there and all of a sudden they like use like a big cooldown. They're like, oh crap, I lagged. What the hell made you even use the button? Assassin Shroud just picked up by Slick. So going the Assassin Shroud route, and at this rate, you'd figure gonna be eventually saving up for Genjiro here.
Did he sell something else?
Where's the token of life? I guess okay, it's wore off by now.
Well, it
so.
obviously wore up, but there was something else in place.
He had a portal key. He doesn't have a portal key anymore.
Okay, so he traded out his portal key, and I'm guessing. I wonder if he did have that Whispering Helm just sitting in his stash. So it would be pretty silly to sell it and then rebuy it.
Yeah.
So he's going to dish out a ton of damage. Does he have a full shrunken head? It is actually at 8 seconds, so it's not bad. What I'm curious, or actually what I'm surprised at, is because this game has been so passive for like the last 10 minutes or so. I would actually expect the Legion side to out-farm, but they're actually getting massively out-farmed by the Hellborn side, but at a slow rate, of course.
Yeah.
But then more I think about it, when you have both squishy supports like Glacius, and actually here comes some action!
Oh, Draconis being chopped right here. Isn't going to be enough damage to tap his ultimate. It catches Keeper the Force. Jonathan Fan makes a big mistake right there. He jumped in. He tries to root, but again, what a second ultimate right there from Riser. And absolutely destruction right there coming out from TT Esports. All 5 are alive. Draconis does buy back, but what a fight for TT Esports. And what a and the Hellflower! The Hellflower just got destroyed. That was on the courier right there.
What?
That was Keeper of the Force Hellflower.
Oh my
They sent it out.
God.
They forgot to micro it back. Q Squad just went big no-no right there. Draconis is now going to get jumped yet again, but this tower is just going to start dropping quickly. You see the barbed armor is even being used. Draconis will come in. He's a golden dragon right now. Will this be enough to scare? Keeper the Force is still dead. Torture Glaciers are here, though. You see Soldier there. He's going to finally ulti. Look at that turnaround damage. He gets Storm Spirited, turning around to Torture. Magnus Eruption coming in. Voodoo Jester will fall to the ground. Draconis just running away. The Genjiro auto attack not going to be in time. But Boundai is on the ground, and I think TT Esports is on a way to a victory, perhaps.
Oh man, that is the most unfortunate series of events. Actually, if you watched when I don't know if this is shit talk or no, just kind of friendly talk, I guess, or friendly banter, but Keeper the Force kind of walked into that second Tempest ultimate. There comes the counter initiated. Great stun. Great Luna stun also. 3 seconds on Draconis. He has no items to use. The Shrunken Head is on cooldown as well as that Geometer's Bane. Slicks is on Ultimate Warrior. Mala gets picked up. Moravis gets the last hit, and the barracks go down. Huge swing for TT Esports, but yeah, the Keeper the Force kind of watching the ultimate. He goes, right, he says, I know that feel.
Of course, them versus Trademark Esports, the losers bracket finals of the Redemption Tournament, that game number 2, I believe it was. Oh, boy, was that an epic game. But, yeah, obviously, if you follow Honcast at all, you know exactly what we're talking about. He does know that feeling. So I don't think that's shit. I really think that's just him being a little bit.
Oh, no, yeah.
I know that feeling. I do genuinely feel bad for you. But, yeah, it's tough. I mean, we say it's like the counter's there, but you still have to execute. You still have to position it correctly. And Jonas Fan just got a little bit too close. But it goes back to the fact, even if he got that route off, we would have saw the Resto stun ulti again, and it really wouldn't have mattered in the end. Maybe not. So that just happened to be a great jump from the Hellborn team. The Genjiro pickup, I think, completely caught the Legion team off guard, too, because Draconis had no clue to expect that.
Yeah, and he did more than that in the surprise factor yet again. It's just he's doing so much damage. He has the negative armor, both from the Demonic and his Dread ability, and he's hitting for 318 max damage. And he's also got tons of utility. He's got spamming from his hands. He's got the negative Dread armor. He's got the extra damage. He's got the double slow from Genjiro, Shrunken Head. I mean, just so much utility. The ultimate. I haven't even talked about that. And these are all things that are just making this hero such a force to reckon with. He can still buy his Symbol of Rage. That'll put him at about like 2,700 or so max health. Of course, with the ability to get that max of or regen from the activated Symbol of Rage. They're just in a great spot right now. Not to mention, as you pointed out, the courier dying with the Hellflower that was destroyed.
That sucks.
Oh, that is being kicked while you're down.
Keeper of the Force. And again, it was Keeper of the Force. Like, he's the one that just got barely caught by the ultimate. It was him, no doubt, being a big deal on the unfortunate other side of that fight. And then to have your Hellflower destroyed on top of that, I'm surprised he's still in the game, honestly. I would have rage quit. I wouldn't even be in the spot, let's be honest, but I would have rage quit if I was him.
DD Soul Stealer.
But yeah, double damage, 504 max damage. He's going to be critting really hard out of this Genjiro if he even shows us. But they're just kind of playing a little bit careful here. Of course, going to go to Kongor, and again, just look at how quickly Kongor drops. Imagine if minus armor still affected him. They would be dead in 20 seconds to go. So Legion team, though, they're going to charge in. Here comes Dragonos. The TteS ultimate, though, gets him. There's the root. Where's the second? The second ultimate comes out, and Soul Stealer is just tearing them a new one with those right-click auto attacks. And QsQ just cannot have, they don't have enough firepower. The double ultimate is just way too much to handle, and TteS Esports is no doubt on their way to a victory. We do see the vote. You can see it right there. GG well plays are being called. What a game indeed. That's kind of cool. Again, we got to jump in there and see at least the halfway point of that game all the way to the finish. And glad we did. That was a hell of a finish there between QsQ and TteS Esports. But that means TteS Esports, with that series victory, they move to 4-0 now, tied with Gary Johnson still at the top of the Group A. And QsQ, they're going to fall to 2-2. So, in fact, let's take a quick glance here at the Group A standings to get a better idea of how exactly things look. So TteS Esports are technically ahead because of the 2 points more, but still, both them and Gary Johnson 2012 on top. QsQ at 2-2, still in a comfortable spot, but they want to start picking up some wins here as this group stage goes on, and then of course the rest. So now Isoplet, FYKU, the Returners, Team Kierk, and Call It Karma.
Right, and if you're one of those lower teams below QsQ, you actually got to thank and be happy that that TteS Esports was able to knock out QsQ in 2, and because it greatly increases their chances to be that third spot to compete in the best of 5 finals. So it pretty much right now is looking towards a great spot for Gary Johnson 2012 and TteS Esports to be 2 of those 3 spots. And like I just said, with QsQ being now 2-2, it's going to open up the options for other teams like the Returners, like Isopelite. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be more, I think, climactic.
Well, speaking of Isopelite, it's actually, if Isopelite happens to win their match today, they're actually playing against the Returners today.
Right.
Which I know you said earlier, I think the Returners was up 1-0. It looks like they are still playing a game 2. That looks like an epic game, actually. But so that's still going on. But if they happen to defeat them there, then they would actually be ahead of QsQ now as a result of that match there. So as you said, those teams just below, like Isopelite, like the Returners and whatnot, they're happy that QsQ lost right there, because that does allow them to maybe get a chance there at that number 3 spot, or a very good chance on top of that. So QsQ, if you're QsQ, of course, you're disappointed. You have faced now both TteS Esports and Gary Johnson at the same time, though. So you got those matches out of the way at least. You're at a 2-2 record.
That's right.
Now you got your final 3 matches to finish, and of course, still a lot of questions to be answered, but finish strong and, let fate decide in the end. So
yeah,
going to be fun, as always, to see how this event finishes off. But so by Sunday, as crazy as that sounds, we're going to know what top 3 teams are for both of these groups. That is, again, coming up quickly here. So
that is very fast. And actually, if we could we go ahead and look at the standings for Group B as we just looked at Group A? But the standings for Group B should be quite interesting as well. We got Lions with a 4-1 record at 12 points. Bunker Down 3-1 record at 10 points. Pikachu 3-0, Druids 2-1, Will Smith Best Rapper 2012 1-2, and then Zit 1-3. Of course, DOS and Black Sheep 0-3 as well. I think there's still several matches in that group that are still being played. Of course, Bunker Down, and I believe it's Druids is still going on as well. So. Yeah,
I do have a couple of results actually.
Oh, okay.
Bunker Down did defeat Druids 2-0.
There you go.
And then Call It Karma took out FYKU 2-0. According to what I'm being told here. So Call It Karma, they picked up their first victory, actually. We were talking about that. They're 0-3 going into today. A little bit disappointing there, but yeah, they got a victory and technically still not out of it. I mean, again, you finish winning out. You finish with a 4-3 record, and as we were just talking about, that could be a good chance at actually getting that third-place spot. So definitely a point to finish strong here if you're Call It Karma, despite starting at 0-3. So now 1-3, of course. So, yeah, interesting results. Nonetheless, between these 2 groups. That means tomorrow, though, we are going to be coming back at you with some more coverage once again on what is going to be Friday. And, of course, the matchup tomorrow that we're going to be looking to cover, you look at all the matchups, but the one highlighted in red right there, we have the Returners set to take on TteS Esports. Now, that should be that's going to be an awesome matchup. Again, the Returners, obviously a fan favorite for good reasons. You got Emperor, Angry Testy, great players over there. TteS Esports, a very skilled and experienced team. You got to say maybe the favorite team in that matchup, but Returners, they're fighting for position here in the group, where TteS Esports, sitting at a comfortable first place spot right now. So I am intrigued, definitely, about that matchup. But you look at all the matchups, we got some great matchups as always yet again.
Returners, yeah, that's going to say a lot if they win this matchup. It's going to put them in a much better position. Of course, as you mentioned, TD Sports, they don't have to worry too badly about it. But yeah, looking at Group B, Zit versus Bunker Down, Black Sheep versus Will Smith, Druids versus Lions. That should be pretty good as well. And DOS versus Pikachu. I favor Pikachu a bit more in that. But there's still going to be matches great all around. But the one we're covering, I think, is going to be the best.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys are as well. Of course, that will be at the same time tomorrow, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2100 Central European Time. This weekend, though, a quick reminder on that. We don't know exactly what matches we're going to cover just yet, but it's going to be a doubleheader both days, no matter what. We will be starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time, both on Saturday and Sunday, covering doubleheaders. We'll cover a Group A matchup, then a Group B, and then Sunday the same thing, a Group A and a Group B. And that will be, really, really climactic, I'm sure, because that will be the finish. We'll see. I'm sure teams will be fighting for that third-place spot, and, we'll get to cast that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then the following week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, best-of-5 show matches between those two top 3 team groups. So, oh, my God, what coverage we have planned for you guys ahead of us. It is going to be fun. Hopefully you guys are ready for it. I'm not sure you are. Really not, because it is going to be epic. But cannot wait for all that to come, Trev.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It's coming out so fast, too. We're going to see lots of great games. As I mentioned before, these are still wonderful teams. I mean, with excluding, of course, TDM and Complexity, who are arguably 2-1 right now. You still got great teams, but nonetheless, I think we're going to see overall better matches in this tournament. I just think we're going to see more close matches. And it's more fun for us. It's more fun for you.
It is. And, it's obviously with an event like this, we went into it, we have our favorites, but there are teams out there. Bunker Down, definitely one of them that's really coming to my mind, at least, on the forefront. We don't know much about this team, former 15 team and whatnot, but they're doing very well in this event. And they're kind of one of those examples that going into the event really don't know much, but by the end of it, they could be going to DreamHack, and we're going to be finding out a lot more about them. So
right.
that was the cool thing going into this event that we expected, and we are definitely getting that. So it's really is awesome to see that, and can't wait for all that to happen. But I think we can officially start to wrap things up here on Honcast.com for the day.
The returners actually did win 2-0 against ISOPilot.
Some live updates here on Honcast. That's we try our best to help you guys out there. So 2-0 over ISOPilot. ISOPilot's been looking strong too with the results that we've seen. At least even taking games off despite losing. But so that means the returners will be 2-2 going into tomorrow's matchup against TteS Sports. Even more of a reason now to really get that victory because they are in prime spot. They really are to at least trying to secure a third-place spot to have a chance of going to DreamHack. So
definitely
going to be giving it their all. Cannot wait for that. We're going to be wrapping up here, though, on Honcast. Hopefully you had a good time, as always. Follow us on Twitter, @TrelfHon.
And @BreakyCPK.
On the Honcast Twitter as well. Facebook Honcast. We actually upgraded the photo on it and whatnot. It's a lot of fun over there, so check that out. Honcast.com, the site, of course. All content coming out daily, as always, between VODs and news articles. HonTour.com. Follow us on there. Follow all that information on there. And tune in tomorrow. So big shout out to you guys. Have a good night. Once again, I'm Breaky CPK. Joining me is Tralphamidor. Shout out to Killer Orange. Shout out to you guys. See you tomorrow.